Are the RT601 Pirates the best Oldhammer miniatures ever made? Now, the RT601 Pirates were released early on in the lifespan of Warhammer 40'000 Rogue Trader. As these were pirates, they were probably their own sort of faction, and we don't seem to have a human pirate faction anymore. I don't think they have to be specifically human. You might be able to have an alien pirate. We'll see when we get into the miniatures. Now, some of these pirate miniatures are very weird, but they are wonderful. Some of them are so strange that they don't seem to fit into the Warhammer 40,000 universe as we know it. But, as we all know, the early days of Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader were a bit of a Wild West, so they were throwing everything in the pot and seeing what they made. I think the correct term is they were throwing everything at the wall and seeing what stuck. I didn't know if it was going to be saw or seeing there. I'm sore of seeing. Now, some of these miniatures are in very strange poses. A lot of them seem to be sort of staring at the floor, like this.
Now, I'm not sure why they're standing in this pose. Maybe the lead has melted a little bit, but it is hurting my back.
Anyway, let's jump in and have a look at the RT601 Pirates. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader.
Likes!
Pirates. In July 1988, the RT601 Pirates were released. There were 24 different pirates available, and they would set you back £2.50 for 5 miniatures. These would be supplied in a blister pack. The RT601 Pirates were sculpted by expert sculptors Bob Naismith and Mike Perry of the Perry Twins fame.
Planetary raiders, world burners, spaceway scum. Call them what you like, they're all the same. All dirty, rotten pirates. Stamp on one nest and another springs up, but deeper, darker, better hidden. It is bitterly ironic that there is no sharper thorn in the side of the Imperium than its own kind gone bad.
So first up, we have a larger man wearing what I think is a wonderful denim ensemble. He is equipped with a sword of sorts and a bionic arm that has a missile launcher literally stuck to it. This is very strange indeed. Also, is that a pipe in his mouth or a random wire? We have a man with a moustache next. He's standing in a very relaxed pose. I'm not sure that he realises he has a cereal bowl on his head. Or is that the year 40,000 equivalent of a hat? His little arrow through the heart tattoo on his forearm, however, is a nice touch. A chap that appears to be licking his own sword up next. Whatever is going on here? He does have a wonderful pair of thigh-high boots and a stripy helmet. That, on second glance, might actually be a painting highlight. Now this guy. This guy reminds me of the new Adeptus Sororitas scout unit that just came out for Kill Team. I do have to apologise, I have forgotten their name. You have to love his arrogant pose. He's ready to take anyone on. He was lucky to get a bolter, I guess. That's a very good gun for a human. An actual pirate now. He has a pirate's hat with a Jolly Roger on. I'm actually quite jealous. I think he's equipped with an autogun. Autoguns are a cool weapon, and it's nice to see them around. He also has some sort of detail on his shoulder pads, but I can't make it out. Aim for the flat top. Here is Gozer, taking on a male form this time. He appears to have stolen some shoulder pads from a fantasy chaos warrior. Good for him. Remember, if he asks if you were a god, you say, yes. I'm not sure what the weapon is. It looks like a bit fell off, and he's searching for it on the floor. T-Hawk from Super Street Fighter 2 up next. Well, that is who he reminds me of. I do like that headband and face paint combination. If that's a las pistol, it's possibly the biggest las pistol I've ever seen. What is that? Okay, so I need to ask a question here. At first glance, I didn't recognise what this pirate's weapon was. Then I realised it was a bolter with what appears to be a Slaneshi attachment on the end. What is that? He's wearing the same armour plates on his chest as some of the other pirates. He also has an epic flat cap. My granddad had one of those. Well, he actually had a few. Another guy staring at the floor now. He doesn't look very well. He looks quite ill. He's a very strange colour. Maybe he's half alien or something. Undead maybe? Interesting. It's me! Super Mario up next. He's not doing a very good job of hiding his identity with that mask. I would recognise that hat anywhere. I got a free one actually from McDonald's once. Maybe that's what he's wearing. The little badge on his chest has a number 1 on. Maybe it's his birthday. It's a Primarch. That's Jaghatai Khan, isn't it? He has the hair and the well-groomed beard. This one's also leaning over a lot. What's with all the leaning on these miniatures? Can anyone tell me why that is? I have to admit, I'm a big fan of his goggles. Here comes a new challenger. It's Guile from Street Fighter 2. Hey, that's 2 Street Fighter 2 characters already in this lineup. You've got to love that haircut. He also has a Ziggy Stardust tattoo or face paint. 10 internet cookies if you're old enough to know who Ziggy Stardust is. Now, whilst doing my research for the RT601 Pirates, I came across a Zoids model, and this is for use in a later video, which you'll find out. This in particular Zoid is known as the Guysack, an interesting name, but it has one particular feature that I think you need to see in this video. On the bottom of the box with the warning symbols, just underneath the Tomy logo here, it says, if you're enjoying this video, then please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. That means you, Logan. If you are enjoying the content here on the channel, then please consider joining the Patreon, the link to which is in the description below or up here somewhere. Joaquin Phoenix up next, just back off the set of the Joker. He definitely has the nose. Isn't this a nice sculpt? I do enjoy the waspy look to his camouflage. I can't say that I've ever seen that before. A man with a bionic arm and a bionic leg up next. It's either that or he's wearing odd socks. Actually, I think odd socks might have even been trendy in the 80s. Fluorescent socks, now that's where it was at. He has the same haircut as the Guile lookalike. I wonder if they reused the head sculpt. A topless man now. He's obviously very warm. He has some very nicely detailed tattoos on his torso. They almost remind me of a Celtic look. The weapon he's holding does look a bit like a plasma gun, but sadly it's drooping a bit. Hey, he's wearing the waspy camouflage too. Nice. Oh my word, these miniatures are leaning even further over every time I see one. Maybe that helmet he's wearing is really heavy. It looks a bit like the Rebel helmets from the first Star Wars movie. I say first, what I mean is Episode 4. I can't get over that lean. What on earth is going on here? A very serious man up next, and he's wearing a pair of overalls similar to what the maintenance men at my old job wore. He has the same miserable look on his face too. Well, maybe someone drew that blue patch on his cheek when he was asleep. I think that would make me miserable too. It's Jim Carrey up next, hot off the set of the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. He really does remind me of him. I think it's the moustache. The autogun, flat cap and sunglasses combo gives him a very 1980s action movie villain vibe. This might be my favourite of all the pirates. Another man wearing a cereal bowl for a hat. Or maybe he's just been swimming, it could be a swimming cap. The shin pads remind me of the armour that the colonial marines in Aliens wear. The camouflage is very similar too. Drake, is that you? Oh, actually the gun's wrong. Maybe it's Spunkmeyer. This guy also has some really well painted tattoos. Very nice. Oh, look out, it's another leaner. I do like his yellow hat though. His shoulder pads actually look like leather. Genuine faux leather, if you will. He's got some very finely detailed bracelets or tattoos on his wrist. The painter must have had a very steady hand that day. Now, I'm pretty sure this next pirate isn't human. He can't be an Ogryn, as they already existed before these were sculpted. What race is this guy? Perhaps he's just a mutant. He does have a nice armoured vest on. The texture on it reminds me of the Captain America comic art. It has an almost scaly look to it. Very nice. I'm going to let this one off. He's almost leaning, but if I hadn't seen the other leaners, I wouldn't have been looking for the lean. This looks to me like an early Talon Desert Raider with the white desert looking garb. They were an awesome Imperial Guard unit. Whatever happened to those? I wonder what that yellow patch on his shoulder signifies. Hey wait, he's got a moustache too. There's quite a few moustaches in this release. Well, we certainly talked that up, didn't we? It's an alternative Jim Carrey sculpt with a moustache. This one has an interesting purple and green colour scheme going on. It's certainly imaginative. I'm not sure if it's something I would wear though. Give me the waspy camouflage any day. This one reminds me of the Joker. I have no idea why. Maybe it's the colours. He seems a bit different to the rest. Maybe this is the boss character. He's very interesting. He has an odd Geiger-ish textured motorcycle helmet and what appears to be a grenade launcher or something on his wrist. It's very strange. It's strange but good. I like this one a lot. I might see if I can get hold of it. So there you have it. They were the RT601 Pirate miniatures for use with the Warhammer 40'000 Rogue Trader system. What did you think of those miniatures? Now, being a bit strange, I did quite like them, but I am usually a fancier of old Warhammer miniatures. I'm always a bit of a fan of old Rogue Trader era miniatures, so I was probably going to like them regardless. Now, which one of the RT601 Pirate miniatures was your favourite? Mine's either the guy with the Jolly Roger hat, or the guy at the end who looked maybe a little bit like the Joker with his purpley blue suit and his green helmet. If you have got a green helmet, you probably want to go to hospital, or a green Guysack. Now, did you own any of the RT601 miniatures? If you did, which ones did you own? I myself don't own any of them yet. They are on my shopping list, however I can't seem to come across them very often. I don't think I've seen a single one for sale yet. Maybe I just have to look harder. How do you think the pirates would work in today's Warhammer 40'000? Would they be their own faction or would they be rolled in to somebody else's? I think myself they would probably maybe be some sort of Chaos Renegade faction. They almost seem to be the same kind of thing, but they're just called pirates. pirates. Unless you count orc pirates, the freebooters, or whatever they're called. Are they freebooters? Or are they looter boys? I think it's freebooters. I don't know why I have a Norfolk farming accent when I say freebooters. I think that might be the way to go in future. If you want to see some more Oldhammer videos, and I know you do, check out the playlist up here somewhere. As always, thank you very much for watching, and always remember to drill your barrels.